masked entry. This is the first time we will be doing it unmasked, and hope you can breathe fresh air. But it is not a mandatory thing. If you don't feel comfortable, please bring your mask or pick one and feel free to wear it. There is no constraints about it. We will be starting today with the opening prayers, then go into the short Saraswati Puja. This is a place for learning. So we will start with a very short, sweet Saraswati Puja, and then open it up with the amazing 12th grade students who will be joining us at the end of the puja with their bhajan. So at the end of the puja, I'll request you guys to take on, and you can sing a song for us. And then Rameshji, who is our CMDFW secretary, he will have the announcements. So before I hand it off for him, there are some house rules that I have to go through with you once at least. So that will be today. So today will be a little longer than the usual, so bear with us. Let us begin. Page number 11, we'll start with the prayers. Come on in. What grade are you in? Where is 3rd grade here? Right here. Oh. Fly all the way till here. Okay, rest of us, let us begin. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarvashruti Shiror Ratna Virajita Padambujaha Vedantam Buja Suryo Yaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashvata Shantaha Vyomatito Niranjanaha Kalatitaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnana Shakti Samarudaha Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Bhukti Mukti Pradatacha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine Atma Jnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Soshanam Bhava Sindhoscha Jnapanam Sara Sampadaha Guroh Padodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na guroradhikam tattvam na guroradhikam tapaha tattvajnanat param nasti tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mannatha Shri Jagannatha Shri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gururadiranadisya Guruh Paramadaivatam Guruh Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Here is where we would be learning Bhagavad Gita, which we will start from next week because you'll have folders by then. We'll be doing the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the complete chapter, 43 shlokas. So we will be learning 2 shlokas per week. So it will be a lead and repeat. And if you want to practice this, you can always visit the Saaket website, Saaket YouTube, where there is a lead and repeat format for you to practice when you are not at Saaket. So let me cut and paste myself on that side so that we can do the puja. Meanwhile, if you can do the announcements so that I'll arrange it here.
Hari Om. Good to see you all back. Good to see the hall full. Don't remember when we saw this hall this full. Maybe it was 2-3 years ago. Welcome. We are excited to start the Balavihar year 2022-23 in person after 2+ years of COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome to all the new and returning children and parents, as well as coordinators, teachers, and volunteers. And a big welcome to Swami ji, who is coming back home after, I don't know how many, 10+ years?
This is 12th year.
Yeah, so big welcome to Swami ji also. Class materials for children. In order to be more environmentally prudent, we will be distributing bags along with the books and materials to only the new registrants, while the returning students will get the books and materials only. So minus bag. I see a lot of the children with last year's bags, so that's great. So returning parents and children, if you have not done already, please bring the previous year's bag to the sessions from next week onwards. We'll get your textbooks and materials delivered to your classrooms. So as Swamiji announced, if you are interested in downloading a copy of the handbook, please go to the website and download it from the resources/forms and handbook link, or there you'll find the PDF. Open house. We will have the open house the first 2 Sundays, today and on 9/11. Note, next week we are off. During the open house, we welcome prospective members. Is anyone here for the open house today? Can we see the show off? Okay, very good. So during the open house, we welcome prospective members and allow the children to attend and check out our Balavihar classes without being members. Of course, we would like you to become members. Please share this information with friends and community members in DFW. If you have any questions or need more information about our programs, please send an email to membership@cmdfw.org. Labor Day Camp. CMDFW is closed for Balavihar next weekend, as I just said, which is the Labor Day long weekend. However, we have planned a family camp on next Sunday, September the 4th. For information on how to register for the camp and other details, please visit our website and click on the Labor Day Camp. Cultural and language classes. In addition to Balavihar, which is our core program, we offer other classes such as language, Gita chanting, music, dance, etc. Of course, these offerings will vary from center to center, depending on teachers' availability. We will wait until after the Labor Day before we can offer these additional classes, as we would like our children to settle down with Balavihar classes first. That said, we have already announced the beginner Sanskrit classes being offered via Zoom. So Zoom does not go away, right? Details have already been shared, but briefly, classes are open to all CMDFW members. A prerequisite is you must know how to read and write Devanagari script. Class timing is each Saturday from 10:30 to 11:45 a.m. And it starts on September the 10th and continues through May 10, 2023. If you wish to join this class, please send an email to Dr. Ghate at pbghate@aol.com before Tuesday, September 6th. So send Dr. Ghate an email before Tuesday, September 6th with the following information: your name, email address, and phone number. CMDFW.org is our online portal for all the resources, information, and updates on festivals, programs, and activities. Please make it a habit to visit cmdfw.org on a regular basis. All weekly announcements, including today's, and special events will be posted there. Communications and updates. So we will keep you in the know via 3 channels primarily. Number 1, regular communications from our membership portal called Neon. the same place where you created an account when you registered your child or children for Balavihar. Please update your email preferences there. You can add multiple email IDs or update your current email ID, opt in for receiving emails, etc. by logging into this portal. So that's one channel. The other channel will be updates on our website, cmdfw.org, and CMDFW social media pages. Number 3, and most importantly, updates in signal groups. All parents and teachers, please join the relevant signal group or groups. If there is one contact you need to walk away with today for any of your membership needs, that is membership@cmdfw.org. House rules. Please refer to page 9 and 10 of the Balavihar folder that you will be getting for all the house rules and temple guidelines to make this Balavihar experience a meaningful and pleasant one. Parking. For Saaket, please park in the Chinmaya Mission parking lot or on Davenport Road, which is the road going north-south. You can park on that road on either directions. Please enter through the Nutwood Road, not through the Deadman Road. And do not park on either of these roads. New members, if you feel lost or have any questions, please talk to one of those volunteers with "May I help you" badge. So consider me also as one of those with the badges, as well as the session coordinator, although we do not have one. So please talk to one of us if you have any questions. And we will see you all at the Labor Day Family Camp on September 4th and or the weekend after Labor Day at this Balavihar session. So we are closed for Balavihar next weekend. Thank you and Hari Om.
Thank you, Rameshji. So we'll start with the puja, a short puja, Saraswati puja. So please fold your hands and let us begin. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Dhyayami Dhyanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Avahayami Asanam Samarpayami. Asanarthe Pushpakshatani Samarpayami. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Padayoho Padyam Samarpayami. Hastayoho Arghyam Samarpayami. Mukhe Achamaniyam Samarpayami. तच्छन्योरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमः स्नानं समर्पयामि स्नानानन्तरं शुद्धाचमनीयं समर्पयामि Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. Vastra Yugmam Samarpayami Vastrarthe Pushpakshatani Samarpayami. Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. Yajñopavitan Dharayami. Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. Chandanam Samarpayami. Kunkumam Samarpayami. Akshatancha Samarpayami. Now I'll be offering just with a short 11 names. Please try repeating after me. Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Mahabhadrayai Namaha. Om Mahamayayai Namaha. Om Varapradayai Namaha. ॐ श्रीप्रदायै नमः। ॐ पद्मनिलयायै नमः। ॐ पद्माक्ष्यै नमः। ॐ पद्मवक्त्रकायै नमः। ॐ शिवानुजायै नमः। ॐ पुस्तकभृते नमः। ॐ ज्ञानमुद्रायै नमः। ॐ रमायै नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमः। Now you don't repeat after me. ॐ श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्र पुष्पाणि सम्पूज्य ॐ श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। धूपं सन्दर्शयामि। अथ दीपम्। धूपदीपानन्तरं शुद्धाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। What is the best part of puja that you all eagerly wait for? We all eagerly wait for something called prasad. But that prasad can become prasad only after it is offered to the Devi or the Devata. So the offering is called Naivedya. After being offered, it is called prasad. So let us get through that process. Om bhurbhuvaswaha tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat satyantvartena parishinchami amritamasya amritopastranamase swaha. Om pranaya swaha. Om panaya swaha. Om vyanaya swaha. Om udanaya swaha. Om samanaya swaha. ओम ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा. मध्ये मध्ये अमृतोदकं समर्पयामि. उत्तरापोषणं समर्पयामि. हस्तौ प्रक्षालयामि. पादौ प्रक्षालयामि. मुखशुद्ध्यर्थं गंडूशं समर्पयामि. Next time I do puja, I will go through and elaborate step by step why we do what we do. Today, with all these announcements and everything, I don't want to get into that. So just observe the puja today. Please fold your hands. Om na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yamagnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. आनंद कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि. नीराजनानन्तरं शुद्धाचमनीयं समर्पयामि. बोलिए श्री सरस्वती मैया की. That was a very bad low volumed jay. बोलिए श्री सरस्वती मैया की. Much better, awakened one. ओम श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमः. छत्रमाच्छादयामि. चामरं वीजयामि. आंदोलिकां समर्पयामि. अश्वान् आरोहयामि. नृत्यं दर्शयामि. गीतं श्रावयामि. Now is the time when you can pick the mics. Today we will have in the Rajopachara, the 12th graders offer the song. Do you need a mic? Oh, you have.
Hi, my name is Asha, and this is our 12th grade class. And honestly, if you've heard about our class, you know that we don't exactly follow the traditional curriculum. Our class doesn't stick to the books, to the T as much. Like, for example, my favorite class last year was our debate about cheating, because that at least engaged the entire class. But I think it's what makes our class pretty special. It's that I never know what we're going to talk about, and we could go off in so many different directions. And what I really appreciate about our class is that all of our teachers have been really receptive to our questions, and even the ones about why is this important or why are we here. We've dove into topics about our scriptures and how to practically live by them, our mind and how to sharpen it, and about what freedom really means, amongst many others. Today we're going to sing a Rama bhajan, and it's not lead and repeat, but if you know it, please sing along. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, start.
प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे राम जहाँ वहाँ सीता माता समीप सदा ये लक्ष्मण भ्राता चरणों में हनुमत राम दुलारे चरणों में हनुमत राम दुलारे प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे सेवा भाव हो और विरक्ति ज्ञान प्रकाश हो प्रेमा भक्ति जीवन सुंदर धन्य बने रे जीवन सुंदर धन्य बने रे प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे राम हमारे मन में बसे मन में बसे मन में बसे सियावर रामचंद्र की
जय
पवन सुत हनुमान की
जय
सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की
जय. Awesome. That was a pleasant surprise. Very beautiful. Thank you. Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. Geetam Shravayami. Om Shri Saraswati Devyai Namaha. Can you all fold your hands? Let us pray and invoke that there are two kinds of things that we do as can be considered as negative or papa, by doing that which we should not and by not doing that which we should. So let us offer all of that at the feet of Mother. seek her blessings that the year ahead, through these Sunday Balavihar classes, we learn the right things, we learn the wrong things so that we recognize it and uproot it. And let us fill our hearts with joy, happiness, and compassion for everyone that we interact. So, invoking all of that, let us pray the Kshama Prarthana. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayanayeti samarpayami Narayanayeti samarpayami Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prathivi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So now I hand it down to our coordinator, because I was supposed to do the house rules, which Rameshji has already mentioned, that it is on page number 9 and 10. So one or two things that I am very picky about, that I don't have two ways about, I don't mince about it. One, as soon as you come inside this facility, these gadgets, put them on silence. Thank you. What will happen if it doesn't happen to turn to silent mode? We don't call it fine. I mean, if you want to call it fine, I am fine by it. We call it your generous donation. So it is about $50. I have not increased it, though there is recession and others. I have not increased that. So please mute your phones. Second, we come into this facility, bring ourselves and our next generation, our children here, so that we inculcate, learn, grasp what is it being a Hindu, practicing being a Hindu, right? Culture, tradition, religion, dharma, rituals, all the practices, right? And Gurudev used to say, it begins with how we dress and what we address. The culture and this whole learning process begins from what we dress and how we address. Let that be a resounding memory in you. That's what the AV team wants you to remember. So when we come here, can I request all of you to be in your, both parents as well as children, in your Indian best attire. I'm okay with you being in shorts, but not here. I'm okay with you wearing spaghetti or noodles or whatever, but not here. Because here it starts with how we dress and what we address. Is that plea reaching across? Yes, no? Yes. So can I expect all of you to come in your Indian best? Yes. I know the kids will comply. The problem is with the adults. So tell them to come in Indian attire. Will you make sure of that? Yes. Awesome job. I know the kids are the best. Now the next, the last one is This is a place of worship, and we maintain this place as the most sattvic environment. Therefore, there should not be any distribution of food that has any trace of non-vegetarian. Once I was in Pittsburgh, there is a famous temple there, Venkateshwara Balaji temple. So I was there conducting a camp. During the lunchtime, this happened long time ago. During the lunchtime, I was being offered the Naivedya that was given to Bhagavan as prasada, famous tamarind rice of that temple. So I was partaking that. Right across the table, one table across, there was this lady with a KFC nuggets feeding her son. So I promptly got up. I said, not in this facility. You can feed them, but somewhere else. So she complied, and then afterwards she came and said, can I have a word with you? I said, sure. This is the facility where there are cupcakes being given, or gummy bears sometimes are given in the classrooms, and those are known to have things that are non-vegetarian. So that is avyakta, this is vyakta. That is invisible, here it is visible. What is the difference? It is still non-vegetarian. So since then I have made it my very clear picture that here, when we bring some, when you have your children's birthday or something that you want to celebrate and you send something, make sure that it is vegetarian. Is that clear, parents? It is okay to request that of you, right? Now there is, in this country, there is another aspect to food, is children are quite allergic to a lot of things. Exactly. They go nuts. Peanuts, pecan, however you pronounce it, or walnuts, or whatever nuts. So please, if you bring anything, find the ingredients, write it down and hand it down to the teacher so that she'll announce it, and most of the kids, as young as they are, they know what not to eat, what doesn't go well with them. They will make the advised choice of not partaking in it if they are allergic to it. Can you do that favor? Especially parents, I'm asking of you. Thank you. Those are the three main. Thank you for standing there. Yes. So this year, moving forward, Katyanyama is still the coordinator. We were supposed to start this session 2 weeks ago, but because of the Mahasamadhi camp, we had to postpone it. But she had already planned for going to India, hoping that it would start early and then she could set it and move. But she is now in India. She'll come back after 3 weeks. We have 2 co-coordinators. One is Rituji and Sona Belurji. So they will be acting in her place and supporting her even after she comes back.
So let's all stand up for pledge and arti. We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is a devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की, seated. A couple more announcements. Teacher Satsang will be at 10:45 in the assembly hall. For the parents, there will be a Q&A session in the assembly hall right after the dispersal of the students. So we'll begin the dispersal of the students with each grade, starting with kindergarten. As I call the teachers out, please stand up and follow your teacher to the classroom, and I'll be announcing your class as well. So kindergarten teachers are Anjali Patel and Yuga Sandhya P.
Can you show your faces to the parents also? First, pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. These 4 grade teachers, parents, can you raise your hands? Awesome. You have to go to the classroom, so pay attention to the classroom reference. You have to go there to pick your kids. We don't want the kids to be running around or going out of the facility. So go there and pick them up. Don't send your high school or middle school child to go pick them up. You personally go and pick them up after the session is done. Comprendes? See? Okay.
So the classroom is Kashi, is to the left of the stage, the first room to the left of the stage. So kindergartners, you can please follow your teacher. First grade teachers are Sucharita Raman and Rashmi Shamayar Raya. Your room is Kanchi. It's to the right of the stage. Second grade teachers are Nishi Mongya and Shubha Sriram. And your class is Kedar, downstairs to the left of the stage, left of the kitchen. Third grade teachers are Purnima Kashyap and Shivagami. And your classroom is Ujjaini, the second room on the right side of the stage. Fourth grade teachers are Swarupa Reddy and Savita Reddy. Your class is in the office room, downstairs.
Yes, get up. Follow.
Fifth grade teachers are Ritu Agarwal and Ruchi Prasad. And your classroom is Bhadri, downstairs to the left of the kitchen. Sixth grade teachers are Nilima Sajja and Amit Deshpande. And your class is Gangotri, the first room to the right of the kitchen, downstairs.
Where is sixth grade?
Seventh grade teachers are Ritu Chaturvedi and Sriram Phalgat. And your classroom is Avantika, the third room to the right of the stage. Eighth grade teachers are Sridevi Palacharla and Gagan Maur. Both are out of town, so we have substitute teachers today. Your class is Prayag, downstairs, the corner room next to the kitchen. And our substitutes are Vinay Mahendra
And Chakri.
and Chakriji.
I recognized him with the mask.
Ninth grade teachers are Radhika Atluri and Kiran Shivaswamy. And your classroom is Haridwar, the second room to the left of the stage. Tenth grade teachers are Ramesh Charuvu and Sona Belur, that's myself. And your classroom is Ayodhya, again to the corner room left of the stage. So the 11th and the 12th grade students will be on the assembly for
Just brief 1 minute.
3 minutes. Yeah. Special announcements. Over to you, Swamiji.
Thank you. 11th and 12th grade, 11th and 12th. The parents of 11th and 12th can. Awesome. That felt like almost everybody sitting there. Every year when it is at the end of the session where we have to gather for the graduation, we come to realize that the students have not come throughout the year. And then there is, going back and forth. So we want to make sure that the expectation is understood, that you will be participating through the year a minimum of 70% of attendance. Are you guys clear to graduate, both 11th and 12th? Parents, are you clear about it? Which is good. Those who are not 100%ers, inform them as well. You know who they are, right? So if you find them, please inform them as well, so that the point is clear. Beyond that, there is nothing more. So please, you can go to your classrooms.
So 11th grade class is Dwarka to the right of the stage, corner room. And 12th grade class is Mathura to the left of the stage, the third class from the left. And your teachers are Govind Vadwadgi and Sudhin Damankar for 11th grade. Please follow your teachers. And for 12th grade, we know Anish Seth and Bhagwat Pandya.
You can all come. So the books will be reaching to your children in the classrooms, but if you want to avail any other books, we have a bookstall in the house behind, and Anand Bellariji is the books distribution and book sales in charge. So, so please reach out to him. I have a weird smile on my face, in my head, and which is reflecting on my face probably. Having been in Dallas for the last 20 years, having to come to Saaket and say, how many of you are seeing me for the first time? Sounds really weird, but how many of you are seeing me for the first time here? Awesome. I am Swami Sarveshananda. I have been here for the last 20 years. But as we started expanding, wherever we expanded, I had to go there and take care of it. We have two other facilities where we offer Balavihar within Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. One is in South Irving, which is called Chitrakoot, and the second one is in Frisco, which when we have a facility, it will be called as Panchavati. We were thinking of building something, had a property, but then the city was quite taxing. So we had to withdraw from that plan. We are still looking for either a facility or a property to build upon. So that hunt is on a very war footing. So pretty soon we should have something there. I have joined Chinmaya Mission as a Yuva. Check. Can you hear me? So I joined Chinmaya Mission way back in 88-89, then joined the Brahmachari training course in 93-95, and I was sent to the center in Chinmaya Mission Vijayawada, where I stayed taking care of Vijayawada center till 2002. 2002, this facility was, this Saaket was 1 year old, 2 years old. And at that time, I got in here, and since then, I have been here. I came in as Brahmachari Uddhav Chaitanya. Now I have the sannyasa name is Swami Sarveshananda. That's about me. So we thought right on the first session, because there will be a lot of new people. How many of you are joining us for the first time? That's my $50. What a Shubharamba. What a grand opening. My eyes lit up. So for all those of you who just raised your hands, welcome. Welcome to Chinmaya family. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, lot of queries, and even if there were questions by those who have been coming for a long time, that is also welcome. So feel free to ask questions with regards to Balavihar, with regards to Chinmaya Mission, with regards to anything that which you have come here for that purpose. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Do you have any questions? Let's start from there. Sure.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Your name?
My name is Chaitanya, and
Briefly.
Chaitanya.
Now you can put it.
Okay. So, yeah, as Balavihar, kids have a lot to learn from here, but as parents, even looking at this, we want to learn something about what is being taught to our kids. What are our opportunities to learn from here, and how do we take it from here?
Awesome. Very beautifully inspiring inquiry. True to your name, Chaitanya means that which is enlivening. That was an enlivening question. Most of us, as we grow up in Bharat, India, the assumption being made is less than 1% of the people that are here must have been homegrown right here in this country. How many of you are not born in India? Fair enough, I guess. So, for the rest of us who have grown up in India, which is a vast majority, we have not had the opportunity to grow where this kind of a structured environment is a possibility of learning our own Sanatana Dharma, aka Hinduism. Why should I be making that assumption? Let me ask that question also. Having grown up, it is for both those who are raised here as well as in India, how many of you had the opportunity to have anything as a structured introduction to Hinduism in your lives while you were growing up? And how many of you, those, please keep raising your hands. How many of you, those who have raised hands, are not born in India? So you see the obvious answer, that most of them who are not born in India, you can put your hands down. Thank you. Usually do get the kind of introduction because there is a necessity for it. There is a opportunity and a necessity to be educated and be connected. Most of us who have grown up in India, we either have taken it for granted and or slash we have grown what we today call as a process of osmosis. That it was not taught, but we grew up in that environment, we picked it up as we move on. So strangely we come to the conundrum wherein you ask a Hindu, how do you define yourself as a Hindu? We have a big question mark. We don't even know how to start or where to start. But luckily, this Balavihar system gives a pretty good structured approach to understand that Hindu identity. Connecting to which you have the culture, the heritage, the spirituality, philosophy, rituals, traditions, customs, festivals, all of that integrated in. So to just break that whole curriculum down, obviously there are three segments to it, three major segments. One is the elementary school, the middle school and the high school. Elementary school, when all of this should be there in the folder as well, as to what is being taught to the kids. So I'm going through that so that it is clearly grasped. In the elementary school, the age and the psychology of that children, any background, but that age group, they love listening to stories. In fact, my belief is, if there is a good storyteller, age is not a criteria. But that particular age group definitely thrives on stories. So there is a lot that is taught from kindergarten through 5th grade in the format of stories, where we introduce Balavihar, Balaramayanam, 1st and 2nd grade. And for the kindergartners, the alphabets are introduced through Vedantic alphabets, where instead of A for apple, B for blackberry, we introduce A for Arjuna, ambition, B for, so something that they can connect to in a Hindu context. 1st grade and 2nd grade, there is Balaramayana, Balabhagavata. 3rd grade we introduce, because by then they are introduced on the outside to superheroes. Whether it is their Cartoon Network or wherever they see, they have these spandex wearing, inside out costume superheroes. So he said that the best superhero that we can introduce is Hanumanji. So the title also is Hanuman the Superman. Truly he is. He can fly, he can do all the things. So Hanumanji is introduced, and also there is the topic of the 24 gurus of Dattatreya Bhagavan. He had 24 gurus, and the subtle symbolism behind is understood. By the 4th grade, there is a lot of questions that the kids have. Why do we do what we do? Why? Because they think they are the most intelligent beings on the surface of earth, because they are armed with 2 questions. You ask them to do something, their question is why? And you ask them not to do something, then the most amazing intelligent question they come up with is why not? And they come up with very good questions. And we are sometimes like scratching, because we have not grown up with those answers. We might have been those who had entertained these very questions but never got an answer. Classic answers are 3 types of answers growing up in a Hindu family. First answer is a very philosophically distant minded answer is, you will know it as you grow up. The second answer is, even if I tell you, you are in no position to understand it. Third is my favorite. It is called Sesham Kopena Purayet. Now you are in a cornered situation, you don't have the answers, but that fellow is insistingly asking the same question again and again. The best way out is increase your decibel level and tell the kid, why the heck is he wasting his time in these unnecessary things? Go study. Thank you. These are the 3 classic answers. Beyond that, the 4th answer many times is not available. So when the kid asks, why did we do arati? Why did we do whatever we did in all the steps that we do in puja? Because lack of understanding leads to something called a worldwide phenomena, boredom. Because they can't connect to what is happening. So why do we do what we do? Why do we do pradakshina? Why do we do arati? Why do we insist on eating with right hand, or giving with right hand, taking with right hand? What has my left hand done wrong? Growing up, how many times have you been told that the left hand is a yucky hand and right hand is a good hand? Which may not be the actual reason. So all these aspects, these queries of that particular age are answered. There is a beautiful curriculum which teaches about why we do what we do in our practices, so that there is a connect established and they can understand the symbolism in Hinduism of various things, even gods, deities, processes, that is introduced in the 4th grade. In the 5th grade, we introduce to them the values. And these values are given through various aspects of scripture, and you will come across the kids heavily participating in that particular area to create a chariot, the Dharma chariot. I'm trying to pronounce like them. It is Dharma chariot. That chariot which Bhagavan Sri Rama had while facing Ravana. So he describes that various limbs of chariot as the values that he holds and practices. So that is introduced in 5th grade. translating them into doables into their own day-to-day life. In the 6th through 8th grade, this is a middle school, a big shift. Up until then, it was a very happy environment in the school because there was least amount of homework or no homework. But suddenly shift to middle school, the expectations are ramped up and they are put to test. Growing up here, they are put to test, and that is when we introduce to them the concepts of what exactly does it make us us at a physical level, at an emotional level, at an intellectual level, how to train at each one of these levels and fine tune our system so that when I go out interacting with the world, there is the best outcome for myself as well as for others around. These excerpts are taken from Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and various other scriptures to guide in that particular age group. One of the classic books that I love in that particular age group are two books, Know What You Have and We Must. Know what you have. Like, what are the toolbox that you have? We have these emotions, we have these feelings, we have these equipment called the mind. Intangible but experienced. Growing up, again, just to connect it to all of you. We have been told that, whenever I feel distracted or stop, fiddling, go, focus on your studies. Have you been told that? Yes, no? Okay. How many of us had been informed or guided to learn how to focus? किसी को बताया गया? We were asked to focus, right? Is that your experience? Stop fiddling, stop doing what nonsense, go study, focus on your studies. But seldom are we introduced to that amazing aspect wherein how do I even grasp what my mind is, how to gather my mind together, how to control it, how to sharpen it, how to make it focused in any possible environment at will. That fortunately is introduced in this middle school. Where in 7th grade, another beautiful topic that is introduced is the ladder of fall. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna does a very beautiful analysis of the human psyche as to where do we start, how does it start, where do we end up, where we end up, and why is it always downward spiraling? When the feelings, emotions of negativity, they are so overpowering that before you realize you are already down there. How does one understand it? How does one gain control over it? Can it be controlled? So the topic is taken as an excerpt from the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where there's 2 shlokas but very potent shlokas. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha, and the next shloka. So these 2 shlokas are taken at a very detailed level of understanding our own self and how to get a better perspective, control, focus as we face our life. Right. Then we come to the high school. Now by high school time, there is a lot that the children go through as an individual. I think in about 6th or 7th grade, they get introduced to something called world religion and study in their school. And what gets, how much ever you tell, it will not carry the wait until it comes from the teacher. A classic scenario that happened right in front of my eyes a long time ago was I was at somebody's house, and this Amma, this lady, is a mathematics professor in Bombay University. So I was being hosted at their house in Bombay, and her young son, who is about in first grade or second grade, I think first grade, he has come back from school. Okay. Before he can do anything, he freshens up, comes onto the table, puts his homework, and pulls out his maths book, and there is this troubled look on his face. Both of us were, his mother and myself, were on the other end. We were having a cup of tea and seeing this fellow. He is like, good. This that you can obviously see it is articulated well on his face, his expression. So his mother goes to him and says, "Can I help you?" So he doesn't even pick his head up. "No, you can't." "So what are you working on?" I said, "Math. You will not understand." She is a math professor. And he says, he just dismisses her. "You can't understand." I said, "Try me. Tell me at least." So he says, 2 mangoes plus 2 mangoes. So she pulls out her hand and then, 2 mangoes plus 2 mangoes, let's count. "Mom, I told you, you don't understand. You can do that only if it is 2 chocolates plus 2 chocolates, because that was the example given in the school. But these are mangoes, these are not chocolates." In the kid's mind, whatever comes from the teacher, it is a chocolate, it can be done with the chocolates if the teacher says it. In mangoes, no. Because the teacher has not yet said that. That's the kind of impression that goes into the kid's mind. Growing up, I'm sure you had a particular topic or a subject that you loved the most, right? During the school days? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, good. Because there is that quizzical look like, where are you going with this? It's humor me sometimes. Can I randomly ask one of you as to what was your favorite subject? Anybody? Yes, please. Math? History. That is not a subject. Though I agree that the kids going into the class, into the school, drag their feet, but every school that I have seen, the kids coming out of the school, after the school is done, are running out of it. I don't know what they do in that school. They all want to run out from there. So recess, yes, but that is not a subject. As a subject, okay, let me go with you. Oh, you also math. Okay. Geography. Why did you like that particular subject? Easier. About you? You could see it hands-on, therefore you ended up liking it. Why did you like geography? Looks pretty, landscapes and the vastness of it. Why did you like history? Listening to stories. Now let me ask another aspect of this. Has it got anything to do with the teacher that was teaching that topic? Yes, ma'am. So the teacher that was teaching, you ended up loving that particular subject, right? So when the teacher introduces something, it has a greater, deeper impact. In spite of coming to Balavihar, in spite of you taking them to temples, in spite of you taking them to India once in 2 or 3 years, 15-day trip or 20-day trip, and then bringing back, one serious course of world religion and the impact that it has is quite deep. And what is it that is introduced in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade when the world culture and world religions are introduced and Hinduism is introduced? There are some 5 main topics that are taught. Those of you who have grown up here, I'm sure you have gone through it. So the caste system, then the women and the role of women and the oppression of the women, various such topics that are touched about. And the kid comes to articulate that at home, probably the parents are not even aware that the kid is getting introduced to this. There is a tussle that happens in the kid's mind. There's a friction that is happening because what you are teaching or what you are emphasizing in trying to respect doesn't seem to be that respect worthy as taught in the school by the curriculum. That friction starts expressing in the format. I'm just taking one cause, one reason. There is bullying, there's a lot of things that go in. So the net result or net effect would be that as growing up, coming to high school, there is a lackluster or a lack of participation in, say, your puja or in your yearly festivals, or when you take them to a temple or bring them to Balavihar. So you see that there is lack of that venting or lack of that process wherein they can process that friction and stand up to be able to find dignity in what they are. Am I connecting the dots? So the high school is where we introduce them to arm up with understanding about these frictions that they go through on a day-to-day basis. And what can the scriptural study help to connect that bridge where they can find that pride, find that dignity in practicing it and practicing it proudly. Through again the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and various other scriptures. So in the 9th grade, they are introduced to the Hindu culture, a very detailed, beautiful study with the book which is written by Puja Swami Tejomayananji. And then the 10th grade, they are introduced to Bhagavad Gita for children as topic wise rather than as a dialogue that is happening between Arjuna and Krishna. The entire Bhagavad Gita, topic wise it is organized and each topic is taken up for discussion, and most of the time it is not taught. By the time they come to high school, it is not taught as a classroom environment of monologue, but it is topic wise discussions and putting it in perspective in day-to-day life where they can see it as tangibles rather than abstract, tangibles, doables, and discuss on that. By the time they come to 11th and 12th, the gear is shifted because now we have to also include another aspect is they are going to find their own roots. There will be one disappointment for many of the young parents where they come and say, we bring them to Balavihar, we bring them to these several aspects of their growth. Why don't we see it influence them where I don't see that discipline, where I don't see that I have to keep repeating the same instructions the millionth time? Why doesn't it seep in? These values can seep in when they have an environment where they are responsible for their experiences and the decisions that they are going to make. Most of the time, until the 12th grade is done, I feel that the children growing up here, my observation is they grow pretty much in a very sterile environment in comparison to what a child growing up in India goes through. And here there is a difference. Up until 12, they are not supposed to be home alone. Otherwise, there will be a fourth of the series, Home Alone. They are not supposed to be home alone. If you are busy, you have to employ somebody who can care for them. Is it right? Up until what, 15 or 16, they cannot be on themselves driving, because it's only after 16 they get a permit and then they get a license to drive around. Wherever they go, they have to be ushered. And what are all of you? Glorified chauffeurs. You have to take them from one end to the other, to the other, to the other, and between two working partners, working spouses, you have to now decide, I go drop, you go pick. Various sequences that has to be. It's all very orchestrated environment for them. I wouldn't call it a bubble, an umbrella. There is a breathing space, but it is decided primarily by the adults, and the child has least to make. Now there is a whole shift that happens once they get into university. What happens when you get into the university? All these little details of decisions that you have to do, it falls on the shoulders. It is at that time they are compelled to dig deep and find their roots, to make those decisions. All this value system that you are developing and inculcating into them, by yourself as life examples, by yourself as the ideal role models in their lives, and the education that comes through the Balavihar and various other systems that you enroll them into, it kicks in when they start making decisions. Until then, there is no opportunity for them to apply that and experiment with it. It's a vast field of experimentation. I've heard something, but how far can I apply, how far can I not apply? And most of us, when making choices, what do we choose? What do we love to choose? Because the choices are that which is right and that which is, no, it's not about wrong, it's about the easiest path that you can find. We feel that we somehow have transformed from human being to electricity, because electricity flows where there is least path of resistance. So we also go through that. Then we develop our own conveniences and see that it doesn't work or doesn't pan out, it fails many times. Okay, let's go back to the grooved ones. So there is a lot of experimentation that happens. That scope doesn't happen until they are home. Now, obviously, the children that I have observed, most of them, if they are in Dallas, where do the kids want to go study? Way outside. If they are in Dallas, they go select Seattle or Washington or UCSD, San Diego, at the other corner. That even if you want to visit them, it will take at least 4 hours of flight. Why? Because they want to explore that field of freedom. Now we need to equip them for that now, because now is the only time that we have. So in the 11th and 12th grade, there is this beautiful book called Self-Unfoldment. That book is given to them to understand themselves, the world that they are going to live in, the applications, the experiments and the interactions, and how to keep fine-tuning themselves to find a proper balance of body, mind and intellect rooted in spirituality while interacting with the world outside. Does that give you a broad spectrum of what? Now, as that is happening, during this session, once the kids have gone, as I called you the glorious chauffeuring them, I have also a role. That usually when the parents are busy, you employ somebody called babysitter. The roles have shifted here. Here, the children are busy. I am the adult sitter. So during this adult sitting, we have something called satsang. So I'll be going through in the same syllabus or structure an introduction into Hinduism with different aspects of scriptural study. So that I will be taking week after week henceforth. I'll keep it interactive rather than a monologue. It will be interactive. Either you ask questions, I'll force questions on you so that you can answer and participate. So feel free to explore, and the regularity helps. So participate regularly. Does that answer? But it is a very important question so that you understand why have I come here, what are they getting out of it. That clarity will connect you better. Appreciate that question. So we will stop here because it is 10:30, and I would request all of you to go to the classroom, meet the teachers once, introduce yourself. You know that naughty fellow? I happen to be the proud parent of. So introduce yourself and get